Hi, and welcome to our discussion on the political spectrum. Today we're going to talk about the difference between conservatives and liberals and look at a political spectrum line to determine the conservative and liberal nature of the political spectrum. So we use a smartboard as a little tool here to figure out where things go in relationship to whether or not a person is interested in having more or less change, more or less government, and where people really in general sit on the political spectrum. So first of all, let's talk about the conservative and liberal perspective. First of all, you know that generally, and I think I need to stress that you need to particularly remember that these are generalities. No one is actually definitively labeled as a conservative or a liberal necessarily. You certainly would have tendencies toward one or the other, and of course the farther you are to the ends of the political spectrum, the more you're going to be labeled as a conservative or a liberal. However, let's just remember that these are just generalities and a descriptor for those labels. So we'll start off talking about conservatives. Conservatives are generally seen as being on the right, and we won't get into the history behind the political spectrum from the French Assembly, but we will talk about our political spectrum. Anyway, conservatives are seen as being on the right, and conservative in general are folks who want less change and less government. As you can see, we'll move that up on the political spectrum. And those who are furthest along the right side of the political spectrum, in other words, more extreme, those folks are known as reactionaries. And reactionaries want to go back. Not only do they not like change, they don't like the change that's already occurred, and they want to revert back to the way it used to be. In contrast, liberals are generally placed on the left side, or are placed on the left side of the political spectrum. And liberals want change, and they usually want the government to assist in that change. And I grabbed the wrong one here. We want more change and more government. That goes over by the liberal side. And those who are very far on the left side of the political spectrum are known as radicals. And radicals want change, and they want change now, and are usually willing to go to extreme measures in order to achieve those changes. So as you can see, the more you get to the left or right on the political spectrum, the more extreme the tactics and how should I say it, the more extreme they are in their views. Okay, so that brings us to the middle, and that's where most Americans sit, are called moderates or centrists. So to continue, the moderates are in the center, or centrists, and that's where most, we'll use that X, and the size of the X will kind of represent the number of people on the political spectrum. And as you can see, the biggest X is in the middle, and as you get further out to the left and right, you can see that there are less and less people on the political spectrum, just in sheer numbers. So obviously radicals and reactionaries are few in numbers, although they can be pretty impactful. But as you can see, as you look at the spectrum, if most people consider themselves moderates but lean a little left or lean a little right, you're going to find that those looking to get reelected or elected into public office are going to need to capture the support of the middle. So that makes it very difficult and challenging for those people, because they have to gain the support of their political base, either the liberals or conservatives. So they have to be able to promote those ideologies. But at the same time, if you get too far out on the political spectrum, they'll lose the moderate vote. Those folks will not connect well with the more extreme the message, the more difficult it is to maintain your hold on that centrist position of those moderates. So there's a very basic overview of the political spectrum. Take a good hard look at this chart, and I would suggest you should capture this in your notebook. It would be helpful to you as we move forward to as we talk about the political spectrum.